Ladies and gentlemen, I am here this time to talk about some NFL. I'm here to talk about the wild card. I'm here to break down the NFC Wild Card side of the NFL today. I may break down the AFC Wild Card as well at some point this week, so stay tuned for that. We're here to talk about the Bears versus the Eagles, the Cowboys versus the Seahawks. We have some really good games slated for this weekend. I cannot wait. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be notified of every video that I make. I talk sports, I talk wrestling, so feel free to hit that subscribe button. About to break it down right now. We're gonna start with the Seahawks versus the Cowboys. This is a matchup of two teams that like to do the same thing. Both teams want to run the ball and play defense and play ball control. They want to control the clock. And it's a very interesting matchup because we have the Seahawks that are ranked number 1 as pertains to rushing, as pertains to the statistics. And we have the Cowboys who have one of the best running backs in the league, Zeke Elliott. And it's going to be an interesting matchup because at the end of the day, I think this matchup is going to come down to the quarterbacks. Both teams want to do the same thing. So which quarterback do you trust more? Is it Dak Prescott? Is it Russell Wilson? And I am here to say that I trust Russell Wilson more. Dak Prescott is not a quarterback. Despite having this really good game against the Giants, this recent game is a meaningless game, but he put up some terrific stats. He's had some games where he's put up some terrific stats, but he is not a quarterback. If the Seahawks gain a double-digit lead, a 14-point lead, he's not a quarterback that you look at and you say, Dak Prescott, we need you to throw us back into the game. We're going to abandon the run game. We need you to throw us back into the game. For example, in the third game of the season, I know we're going way back into the third game of the season, the Seahawks defeated the Cowboys 24-13. They got up by 14 points, 17-3 in the second quarter, and Dallas just could not battle their way back because Dak Prescott is not that quarterback on a consistent basis. I'm not saying that in the playoff game it's impossible that if the Cowboys got down by that many points, that it's impossible that they couldn't come back. I'm saying that I would not bet on it whatsoever. He's not that type of quarterback. I trust Russell Wilson more as it pertains to this matchup. He is the type of quarterback that can come back in any given situation. As for the result of the game, I have the Seahawks winning the game despite being a 2.5-point underdog. That's not really a big underdog at all. You know, you get 3 points for being the home favorite, but Cowboys are getting 2.5 depending on what site you're looking at. At the end of the day, I'm going with the Seahawks with the mild upset. I trust Russell Wilson more as pertains to the defenses. Both defenses are really good. Not quite the Legion of Boom for the Seahawks, but they are a really solid defense. A solid ring attack. It's going to come down to who controls the ball the best because both teams would like to do the same thing. I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks for the victory. Moving on, we got the Bears versus the Eagles, and surprise, surprise, the Vikings were sitting on that last spot for the longest, and at the end of the week, they just folded. You just can't trust Kirk Cousins in a big game, and he proved that again yesterday. So, looking at this matchup, Bears 5.5-point favorites. You have the Chicago Bears in Chicago in the elements, and that defense is just ridiculous. You got Khalil Mack, you got Eddie Jackson that I love as well as that safety as well that I really love. It's going to be a smash mouth football game. As for the factors that it comes down to, when you look at the Bears, they like to play really good defense, really great defense, and they like to play solid enough offense with Mitchell Trubisky. It's going to come down to Mitchell Trubisky as pertains to the Eagles. Look, they have a secondary that can be had. They have a horrible secondary. They are ranked 30th against the pass, so they can be had. But Mitchell Trubisky is a really inconsistent quarterback. He has proven that throughout the season. It has been very up and down. It is his first playoff game. What Mitchell Trubisky are we going to get is the question here. Looking at the Eagles side of the ball, Nick freaking Foles, who would have thought that Nick Foles would have carried them into the playoffs like he has? Just like last year, he is on a magical carpet ride run, and for whatever reason, he just fits this team better than Carson Wentz does. Carson Wentz is the more talented quarterback, but Nick Foles has carried them the last 2 years. As it pertains to this Bears defense, there is no discernible weakness as it pertains to Nick Foles in his game. So, Nick Foles is great at the run pass option. I think you need a great quarterback to beat this Bears defense, or you need Mitchell Trubisky to have a bad game. I don't see Mitchell Trubisky having a bad game against this Eagles secondary. I think he's going to have a really good game. And at the end of the day, I got the Bears winning this one fairly easily. Much respect to the Philadelphia Eagles. Nobody thought that they would make the playoffs, including yours truly. But going into Soldier Field, I still call it Soldier Field. If it's a new field, I don't know. I still call it Soldier Field. Going into Soldier Field, the Bears are going to take this one. They're going to be at home, and I think it's going to be a fairly easily win here. It's not going to be a particularly close game. So let me know your thoughts on the two NFC matchups in the YouTube comments. You can find me on Twitter at OMGCoreyB. And feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be breaking down the AFC as well.